Everyone, how you doing? We're going live. We're back to using EV Mux again, and I'm hoping that it's all going to come through okay because there was a bit of lag before. So if anyone's watching this live right now, do let me know if you're suffering any lag or anything like that. I hope you're not. I hope it's all coming through okay. Because if it isn't, we have a problem. But I'm hoping it's all going to be fine. And we'll wait to see if anyone joins in the chat. So it's Monday. Had a bit of a slow, weird morning at the moment. We're just sorting some things out and some emails. And just speaking to a few people about some stuff. But generally, it's been a bit of a... even the word weird morning sounds a bit not completely true. But what you all up to today? I'm just sorting out... we had a meeting with a client yesterday, so some good news about that one. It's always good news, isn't it, when you get to speak to a client about stuff. Hey Abhinav, how you doing? How you doing? By the way, hey Chingy, is the footage and sound coming through okay, or is the footage quite laggy? Let me know if there's a bit of a lag. Hey Carapos, how you doing? Do let me know if the footage. Hey, is that Dillbag? Do let me know if the footage is coming through okay as well, people. Let me know. Ah, cool. Good. That's good to hear. I'm doing it through Google Chrome, by the way. So maybe using Chrome instead of Edge works better. I don't know. But so far, so good. Yeah, EV Mux is quite nice, I think. It's got quite a nice feel to it. In how I think it's working. So I've just customized the chat so that only people who are subscribed for a minimum of 5 minutes are allowed to comment to hopefully stop the spammers coming on, which really do ruin the feel of live chats when that happens, if you know what I mean. But yeah, I'm not a fan of like people that basically their intention is to do nothing more but just to ruin the what we're doing. I hate that. So yeah, we had a meeting with a client yesterday, and the meeting with the client went really well. So I am a little... well, it's midday, George. It's midday, so I'm actually on time, George. I'm on time. Lately, I've been a bit late, haven't I? Sometimes. So today I'm on time, which is so weird. And for those of you that haven't seen it yet, make sure you watch the channel. Hey JD, make sure you watch the channel where we released a video today with George's help and Jimmy, skating choreographer, but mainly George coming up with some code. But where you hover over an image and the image automatically scrolls without any extra plugin, which is what we love to achieve. Yesterday's meeting went really well. Hey Mark. Yesterday's meeting went really well. Once they pay the 50% deposit, we will make a start on their site in about 2 or 3 days. It's a directory website. They've already done a lot of work already, which is great. It's now filling in the gaps, making sure things are working correctly, double checking bits and pieces and settings and stuff like that. The opportunity, though, is really, really good because there is big, big potential. Yeah, Abhinav, I'll come on to that in a moment. So there's potential for lots of other clients as well based on who this person is. So there is potential. Elementor send that. It's actually not purple. It's not purple. Look, it's not purple. It's white or like a glass, glass effect. The reason why it looks purple is because of the light. So if I was to switch this to be green, it'd go green, blue. You get the idea there. Just put that back to purple. There we go. Okay. Well, to be honest, George, they'd already kind of shared a lot of their spec before, and all I said was, yep, that's all right, that's all right. Potentially could open up more doors and stuff like that. I'm just trying to get to... something's a bit weird here. Right, yeah. So I've just got to make sure this chat is going through okay. So far, it looks like the chat is working fine, which is good. Very, very good. Right, so I'm just going to start answering some of the questions that are coming through here, because we've had quite a few, surprisingly. So Abhinav's question right near the top was, what's your full procedure after making WordPress website? Well, a handover. So if it's a WooCommerce, you might do a video of how to add products or maintain. Maybe it's how they can do their blog post. Maybe it's advising them on like images and bulk resize photos. But a lot of your handover is going to be what can they or can't they do, and what are they permitted to do, and where is there an extra level of security? So things like, where does your part stop and end? Like maintenance package and things like that. Where does their job start and end? What are they responsible and what are you responsible for? So make sure you get all of that in. I don't. The only Elementor add-on I would ever use would be QI add-ons, and that would be it. I don't use any Elementor add-ons, Abhinav, at all. What skill is required to be a perfect WordPress website developer? The skill is to accept that you don't know everything, you're willing to learn, and you will try and experiment things out. And you know how to use Google, because most of the solutions are already on Google. So don't sit there waiting for the solution, for people to give you the solution. Have a look yourself, try it out, experiment, play, learn. Compassionate, integrity, honesty, transparency, all of these things. Don't go, we can do this, we can do that, but actually you're not sure how to do it. So be honest with what you can do and what you can't do. Or just join the mastery. And I'll give you the link for that. I mean, it's scrolling along the bottom there, but let me give you the link for it. Because if you really want to hone in your skills about business and marketing and growing and getting clients and approaching them and tried and tested methodology, this is a really good way. Right, so what I'm going to do now is say to everyone, if you want to have a go at joining in on the live stream that we're doing right now with your camera or without, with your microphone or without, can you please email me here? So please email me here and I will add you. You must be clothed. You must be appropriately dressed or whatever, okay? But if you want to have a go joining in on the live stream, let me know and we might be able to get you on. I will email you a link. You click that link, but you must click that link in Google Chrome. Okay, you must use Google Chrome, because if you go through Edge, I've heard there's a bit of a problem. So if you want to have a go, come along. Email me on info@websquadron.co.uk, and hopefully we can get you on. Or not. And like I said, by the way, you don't have to join in. You don't have to join in, okay? This is totally optional, all right? Let me just double check everything's in place. Yes, if you want to join in, you have to email that email address, which is, where is it? It's going to be down there, isn't it? The email address I've just put in the chat, info@websquadron.co.uk, all right? And you can join in. Exactly that, George. So don't overpromise. Don't say you're going to do something if you can't do it, because it will hurt you. It could hurt your reputation as well. And don't take on something that you think you can do and you go, oh yeah, I can do it, but I'll get George to help me and I'll get Mark to help me, because they might not be able to help. And secondly, you're going to stress yourself out because you feel obligated to now do what they've asked you to do. So make sure you take on jobs that you can deliver and it's not going to stress you out. So I'm gonna send an invite to Dilbag, who wants to join in. So Dilbag, when you join in, you must make sure you do this in Google Chrome, okay? So let's invite guest. Right, copy. Yep, okay, cool. Please note though, if anyone does join and the quality or the sound or is not coming through okay, I might have to boot you out. I'm just letting you know, please make sure you got a good connection, because obviously I don't want, if we have too many where the sound quality or video quality is not good, it could affect the quality of the entire broadcast. So as long as your quality is all right, you'll be in, or I boot you out. Come on, George, join in. Abhinav, we work internationally, right? We are a business. We are we're a web agency. I was going to say freelancer, but we're a web agency. Hey, Jimmy, we're doing, if you want to join in, Jimmy, on the live chat, send me an email. Send me, yeah, Mark, you're definitely not on until you get your Virgin internet. But Jimmy, if you want to join on live chat, go for it. What was I going to say? What was I going to say? Yeah, Abhinav, remote jobs. So you can work around the world. Can you get a job, though, with a company? Maybe more difficult, but if there was a web agency that was taking on staff and they wanted a team that build the website for them, then absolutely, you could get a job doing that. No, I think what it is I think there's a bit of an echo in the room. I just need to I need to put a blanket up. And the window's open, so there's a bit of an echo. But I think you are right. I have not, just now, I've just realized I do sound not bunged up, but I do have a deeper tone coming out of my nostril. Maybe it's because I've spent so much time telling my son off today or being silly and not doing his homework. That's exactly it. That's exactly it. Hey, George, come on, George. Come on. Right, I'm going to send you a link as well, George. All right. I'm going to, in fact, I'm going to send it to, I'm going to say, I'm going to send it to both of you. So come along, guys. Come along. Join in the ride. You don't have to, but make sure you're using Google Chrome, all right? Make sure you're using Google Chrome. Right, so Jimmy and George have sent you a link. Make sure you're dressed. To be honest though, George, you know, like you can mute yourself and then you can unmute yourself whenever you want to talk as well. So don't worry about that. Jimmy, join for, even if you just say, hey, by the way, the video is live today, Jimmy, as well. Okay, if you've seen, don't know if you've seen it, but thanks to you and George, got that video out. Made sure I got your mentions. Make sure I got your faces in the video as well. Okay, got everything on. One of the things this website's going to need, the one we're going to build now after we had that client meeting, is we might need to add in like an Arabic translator plugin. And I'm a bit like, I'm not sure how good that's going to actually be when you translate English into Arabic or the other way around. And I won't know head from shit in terms of like, did that translate correctly? I ain't going to know. I'm just going to go, yeah, we have Arabic on there. Maybe it worked. I don't know. What are the prices of WordPress websites in the UK? Well, it depends. It depends. I mean, our prices start from £920 for a basic website. Basic, right? If you decide you want to now turn it into a shop, our prices might double up. If you want a directory, they might triple up. But it all depends on how big is the directory website, how much detail is the WooCommerce. Is it just setting up a WooCommerce, or are we setting up 20 products? What about a rental accommodation? 2 apartments, 3 apartments? What are we going for here? Hey, Dilbag, how are you? Right, so I can see you've popped in now, and I'm going to make you come live. Okay, Dilbag. So, you know, I'm going to make you come live. Hey, how you doing? 3 apartments.
I'm fine. Just give me a moment. I some video in the background. Just
yeah. Okay.
I don't know if I've clicked something wrong.
No.
Okay.
Dilbag, how are you? Right, so I can see you've popped in now. Oh, I think we're getting a bit of an echo. So
Hi.
I'm going to make you come live. Hey, how you doing?
I'm fine. I'm fine. How are you?
Yeah. I'm
audible.
okay. I'm good.
I'm fine. Just give me a moment. Video in the background. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't know if I've clicked something wrong.
I think we're getting a bit of echo. This is where Evie mucks. I'm not sure if we're getting a bit of an echo. Oh, I think we're getting a bit of an echo.
Yeah, it is getting repeated. It is getting repeated. Absolutely. Yeah.
Hey, how you doing?
I'm fine. I'm fine. How are you?
Yeah. I'm
audible.
okay. I'm good.
I'm fine. Just give me a moment.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. All right. I've just changed the settings there. I think we're getting a bit of echo. This is where. I think we're getting an echo. I think we're getting an echo.
Yeah, it is getting repeated. It is.
Hey, how you doing?
I'm fine. I'm fine. How are you?
Hey, Balloonatic, how you doing? Yeah, Jimmy, try Chrome. All right, I've just changed the setting there. I think we're getting a bit of echo. I think we're getting an echo. I think we're getting an echo.
Yeah, it is getting repeated. It is.
Hey, Balloonatic, how you doing? Yeah, Jimmy, try Chrome.
I don't know if you hear me or.
Yeah, I can hear you, Jimmy.
Hey, Imran.
How you doing, mate? Good
Hey,
to
I'm
see
doing
you.
good.
Good to see you.
Very good to see you too. In
This
live.
is great. Doesn't it feel weird when you're now talking to people face to face?
It is a bit. Well, it's, we start to know each other, and so we
Yeah,
start to develop connections and stuff like that. But being able to talk like really
I don't
like
know if
in
you
live
hear
is
me
just so
or
different.
yeah, I can hear you, Jimmy.
Hey, Imran.
How you Yeah. doing, mate?
Hey,
Good to
I'm
see
doing
you.
good.
Good to see you.
Very good.
Jimmy,
There we go.
are you getting any feedback as well from the
Hey.
sound?
Yeah. No.
Feel
Well,
weird when you're now
I don't know.
talking
It's
to
not.
people
It feels like it's not
face to
coming from my
face.
computer, but I'm
It
very
is a bit.
confused.
Well,
It's, we start to know each other, and so we
Yeah.
start.
Right. I've just changed things a little bit, so hopefully we don't get feedback coming through.
Yeah, it's fine now. It's
Yeah.
fine.
Yeah, that's much better now. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's probably me. It was my speakers.
Blame it on Imran.
It is. Now, which is a little bit weird because yeah, so we'll have to sort that out and stop that happening. So what are you up to? So Dilbag, tell us what you're working on at the moment. You know, are you freelancing?
No, I actually, I am a AVP in one of the companies. It's into the banking and ATM. I carry experience about 20 years, primarily into the customer service delivery domain, right? So now it's completely, I'm devoting myself into affiliate marketing. For that, this is the
Okay.
basic groundwork. So I'm really working on creating websites, landing pages, and all, right. So
Well,
that's the basically, the idea, whole idea behind that, how exactly
I have a business proposition for you. Because you said you work on ATM machines, how
right.
about we will help you with your website if you give us access to worldwide ATM machines? And because if you want affiliate commissions, the money will come flooding in.
see that's basically, I'm working in some company, so I'm taking care of the MS part, which is actually an operation part, right? So the
Right.
sales team is different and all other people are different. So it's
Oh,
basically I'm taking care of whatever concerns are coming through tickets from an internal customer, right?
got it.
So now I'm pushing hard to work on this side so that I'll be able to, relate that location is almost 1500 kilometers from my home. So it's difficult now to stay away. So I'm looking for from last 2-3 years I'm totally into this. You can see that my stock market
Yeah.
that's have a big portfolio to manage, and this I see a lot of potential in this, right? So that's why I'm really working hard on this to create the landing page and websites and all, right.
Oh my God. Do you know what's happening right now? We're now creating a huge chat room. So we've got Jimmy on there. We've got George is currently appearing. And we've got Chingy, who's, I don't know, he's just fallen off his chair. I don't know what's happened to Chingy. Jimmy, you're only here for a bit, aren't you? Because you're
Yeah, that's correct.
you're
After I'm
cracking
gonna
on
be
with other stuff.
following you after, but just on the background now because I have to start working. Basically, I actually work from 1 to 9 p.m. for a company in America,
Oh, right.
where I organize basically moves for Chicago. So I organize it all from here in Portugal, but the moves are happening in Chicago, so it's like a remote job. So that's my job, and I had my company until COVID hit, and COVID hit, and I lost my company. So I'm just like restructuring everything. So I had this job for stability, and now I'm starting really to try to kick ass on freelancing.
Okay, so I'm just going to quickly double check the live chats here. So, oh, sounds like someone's hit something. But Mr. Blue Natic, he's got a question going. Anyone got a suggestion on how to fix moving nav menus? Now, Blue Natic, if you're listening, when you say moving nav menus, what do you mean by that? Do you mean cumulative layout shift? So depending on the different size screens, your nav menu is jerking a little bit. Is that what you mean? Because when you say moving nav menu, I'm like, just sit still in your chair. Maybe that's why it's moving. What's going on? Hey, Chingy, good to see you finally, mate. How are you? And I see you've got a keyboard. Do you like? Are you a bit of a DJ as well here? You know, would you like to play music?
I'll say that one more time. I'm sorry, I didn't catch
No,
you.
sorry. No, I'm saying you got your. I've noticed you got your keyboard. Do you like to play a bit of music?
Yeah, I do produce. I make some beats and I also write raps.
Yeah. Oh, okay,
Yeah.
nice.
I've been doing that for probably a decade now, I think. And then I used to sell a lot of beats to other rappers, but then
Okay.
I used to do that. Then I stopped doing that. Now I just usually just write some songs, you know.
No, well, you know what? Maybe if I need to get some royalty-free music in the background of the live chat, I'll come over to you now. You see,
Yeah.
because I get a bit fed up of audio library from YouTube because it's the same old thing. But yeah, no, good to have you here as well, George. Are you there, George, or are
I'm
you?
here, but
Nice one.
I'm trying to figure out my camera. It doesn't seem to want to start, but I guess it's an EVMux issue. So
Yeah, well, I mean, if you want to drop out and drop back in, try that as well. Okay, so leave if you want and come back in, and I will let you in. But yeah, hopefully there might be a setting or something.
okay, I'll be back. I'm trying to switch cameras. It just says we cannot start your camera, and it's like weird. But
Okay, right, yeah, jump out and have a go again.
yeah, I'll do that.
Okay, cool. So I'm gonna get rid of George for now. We've kicked George out. No, George is still here somewhere. So I want to say thanks to all of you though, okay, that join in regularly and all of that. I love the engagement, and I feel like having live chats where we can actually see each other. So now I know what you're doing, okay? So I know if you're working or not, if you're eating a hamburger or just having a meal or whatever. But is there anything you feel like? Obviously, I hope you see the videos we produce and we do the live chats. Is there anything you would like us to do more of inside the live chat or in terms of videos? Or do you just enjoy the journey and the interaction, especially if you're working from home, and you're stuck in a room and like, I can't talk to my wife about websites. She ain't got a clue. But I'm surprised she's even able to use her phone sometimes. Right, we'll try and get George on again. But like, is there anything you feel like you would like to see more of, for instance? Well, you're quite happy. It's okay to say you're happy as well.
Well, I just think, well, for me, I'm happy because I think what I like the most about your channel and what you do is that you really take in consideration what people are talking about and what their problem is, and try to find a solution for it. And if it takes such a short time, you make a video for it. And that's the concept that I personally really appreciate and like, because then you're on the go. You're just taking the problem as they come and not do a video because you want to do a video on this. And you do as well, do your videos like, okay, I want to do a video on that, so I'm going to do it. But I really appreciate the fact that you actually take in consideration all the comments that are coming into the live chat and try to solve it as soon as possible.
Well, I can tell you now that when I finish the live chats, I sort of look in the mirror and go, why am I talking to these people? Who are they? What is it with all these questions? I want to let you know, though, if you were on the live chat yesterday, I mentioned Bitforms. It's a plugin. They contacted me and wanted me to do a video for them. And I said no, because they weren't clear on what they want. Did any of you notice someone else release a video for Bitform yesterday?
Oh no, I didn't see, but I didn't see the chat yesterday. So
no, yeah. So WP Tuts, did a video for Bitform yesterday, about 4 hours after I said to Bitform, no, I'm not interested. So they've obviously gone out to loads of YouTube influencers to try and get this video done. But I found that what they were asking for, I have to be honest, I did not see the benefit. I really did not see what is the benefit of saying to people, you must pay to set up an integration. So when someone does a WooCommerce thing, it sends it to Google Forms. I was like, how many people really need, who really needs that? And you're asking people to pay. So I wasn't entirely sure of that. Hey, Atlantis, just back to one of the questions on the live chat. I don't know if you can see it, but Balloon Natic, he had an issue with nav menus. And sorry, go on.
I'm going to stay without camera because it doesn't even pick up my camera the second time I came in. So
George, don't worry, George. Don't worry.
It's fine. But I've got the chat open and I've muted the YouTube stream so I don't hear myself twice. But
yeah, got it.
The person with the nav menu issue, it could be that he has like what do you call it? He might have overflow and the menu might be moving due to overflow.
Yeah,
but we need to see it. Somebody has to send us a link so we can check.
Yeah, George, you've kind of gone to where I was going as well. I mean, I was going to say, hey, Balloonnatic, can you share the link and we'll stick it on the screen and we can all see it and we might put our opinion in it. But also, like George was saying, most likely it could be overflow. So go to your section and make that hidden. But it could also be maybe, are you swapping Font Awesome anywhere in your Elementor settings as well? Sometimes that can cause like a flicker of movement, but it won't be. We won't know for sure until. Atlanta said padding as well, but it won't be until we see the URL. Until we see the URL. So like I was saying yesterday, we had a chat with one of our clients. They're doing a directory website. They're using the My Listing theme, and they've already built a lot of the work already. So what we're now going to do for them is we're going to kind of pad it out and make it richer and deeper and better for them, because they've already done lots of the work. We're not charging them a huge amount of money. And the reason why is because I'm only going to charge them for 2 days work, because that's about it. But the opportunity it allows is they're going to be doing a directory website in the United Arab Emirates. And they're doing it in a very niche area. And they've got tons and tons of contacts. And the way I look at it is that if they're happy with what we do, they're going to be happy to promote us as well. And what that could do is it could open us up to other companies out there in United Arab Emirates who might need websites. So sometimes, like when we talk to a client, I look at the opportunity, and sometimes I do adjust our prices to lure them in, to get that lead, to make that connection. Because if you know it might result in further work down the line, it's kind of like a win-win situation. What you don't want to do is outprice yourself, and they go, yeah, we'll get back to you, and they never come back to you, right? And then you've lost out on this possible opportunity for other work. My only problem is that they did say, can we also make sure everything in the website translates to Arabic? And I was like, whoa, what? I said, we can install a plugin, but I can't guarantee if it's translated it properly. I'll just look at it and go, yeah, there's some funny writing on there. It's done it perfect, whatever, blah. They'll have to check it. I mean, I'm not going to use Loco Translate and sit there and go, right, what should we say in Arabic? I ain't got a clue. I just about speak English. So just double checking the comments. Yeah, Atlantis, if you want to join in, right, it doesn't matter if you're in your pajamas, okay? It does not matter. I mean, like, for all I know, right, Jimmy is wearing what he wears when he goes to sleep as well. I don't know. I mean, Jimmy is now doing a house tour. This is like MTV Cribs.
I'm going to my office now.
Okay, he's going to his office. But yeah, so I'm just going to wait to see if Balloonnatic, if you do... If Balloonnatic will send his URL. I haven't had the URL yet, but let me just put a link in here. What's your biggest problems with Elementor, if there are any, with Elementor Pro? Is there something that you find every time you work on a website, it just really like messes you up? So Atlantis, can you email? In fact, I think I can drop the link here, can't I? Right, so you need to use Google Chrome, okay, Atlantis. So click that link. So any of you, have you got a bugbear or a problem that regularly affects your productivity with Elementor? I'll take that as a no. Oh no, go on, Dilbag, go on.
Okay. So for a few days I was working just a regular post on a WordPress. Then I shifted myself to Elementor, because there I was facing, bringing a post into a grid or 3-4 column grid, there was problem. So now I think particularly in Elementor, it's going through nicely. And yes, there are some times where since I'm new to this, some features takes really lot of time. It takes some on Sunday. It was about 3 hours on inspecting one feature only. So that's the key learning. That's the learning curve which I need to do, right? And rest, I think no specific bug or anything like that, right?
Yeah. Okay, cool. As long as that's sorting out now. Chingy, I mean, do you find like, I mean, I love using Elementor. I'm one of those where when I use it, I feel like I'm at home and you know what you're doing. But do you ever find like there are some features or things that bug you when you're using it that you really wish they would fix?
I don't know if I'd say any features or bugs, but one thing that I have, for some reason, have a hard time wrapping my head around is dealing with sections and intersections, padding, and margins. Like that stuff right there. Like sometimes, like I literally go so crazy, like when I'm trying to create something, and then I'm not able to figure it out, and then at some point I'll just walk away from it, and I'll come back and I'll be like, oh shit, I just fixed it in like 2 minutes. So like that relationship between padding, margins, and the sections is sometimes super difficult for me to understand.
All right. So what I'll say to that is, I remember when I first saw that you could have inner sections and all of that, I got a bit carried away as well with thinking, oh, this is really cool, before I understood that actually inner sections can slow down your website as well if you have too many. And what I tend to do is when I'm designing a website, I draw out kind of like how it's going to be. And I then start to think really hard about, well, is it one section with one column and then everything is like custom inline? Or is it 2 columns and then I've got to have an inner section, or how am I going to lay it out? Flex containers, I think, are going to make it a lot more easier to do, design your website and make it look as unique or bespoke as you want. Still a bit of work on it, but I do agree that inner sections is very limiting in what you can do, especially when you want to do an inner section within an inner section. There's a way to do it, but it's a bit painful. But what I have found is I tested out where I did a container inside a container inside a container. I went 5 times. I went from great-great-grandfather container to child, like inbred, I'm a child, right? And the containers worked fine. When it comes to margin and padding, yeah, you just have to. Okay, my strategy, I did a video on it, is let's say I've got a section and column and I know what I'm going to show. I add everything in. I don't care how ugly it looks. If I know this is going to have a header and a button, and I'm going to have an image, and I'm going to have Google Maps, I add it all in. And then I focus on the margin and padding. Then I say, okay, the section needs this much. Then the column needs this much. Then the individual item, like maybe the button is too close to the header. Now I need to do a bit more margin here. Because if you start doing it from the get-go, the minute you add something in, you go, oh, now I've got to go back a step and do the section again.
Yeah, I keep doing that. So I'm going to try what you just said. I just wrote it down because I'm like, I have to remember that.
Because it's so easy when we go to a section. The first thing we do is we do the full width of the box. Then we do the minimum height. Then we say, is it going to have a column gap, whatever, equal, no gap, whatever. Then we do the column. Then we do the margin. Then we do the padding. And then when you start doing your text, you suddenly find you're messing your text. You're doing your typography to fit the section and column. The way I work it is get my content in, get the text to be how I want the text to be, the size, and then get the section and column to fit around the text. Because if you've already added in 20 pixel padding to your column, all of a sudden you start shrinking your header, don't you, to make it fit. And then you go, it's not looking as dramatic now as what I wanted. So I go, get it in. Boom, 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 boom. It's a bit like in the old days when you did cooking. You went to the freezer, you took everything out, and you just shoved it in the pan, right? And then you mixed it and added a little bit of salt or whatever to get it to be perfect. And I just say, get your stuff in. And then you'll now realize, oh, actually, there's no need for any padding on the section because the columns and the items within handle all of that. I really hate these headphones. You know that? They warm my ears up. They turn my ears into a radiator.
Like I usually I'll wear them for like 30 minutes and I got to take them off again.
Yeah, I mean, I've got the wrong adapter, but I need to start wearing these, I think, next time because Yeah, it's a pain in. I don't know about you, but Dilbag, you know, Jimmy, do you like wearing headphones for long periods?
Yes, because here it's cold, so you know. So it keeps you warm.
No, I think I particularly wear for this meeting only. Rest I do it with small earpieces.
Oh, that's good, right? So just letting so unfortunately Atlantis can't join, but hopefully she can get in. Yeah, so I was about to say something and it's kind of gone now. Yeah, so good news on a potential well, it's not a potential client, it's a client, and we're hopefully going to work on their website Thursday or Friday, 2 days, and then hopefully we're done with that. Balloonnatic has now sent in their website. So I'm just gonna share it. So in a moment, you're gonna see yourselves all move a bit, but don't worry, you're still on screen, all right? So I'm gonna do a screen share, and I'm gonna try. Right, so I'm just gonna open Balloonnatic's website. I'm going quiet. It's because I'm just trying to get the screen up, okay? Right, so if I share this screen, which you can all now see, in fact, I'm going
I think we lost him completely.
We kicked him out of his
no.
own.
Can you hear me?
Yep.
Yeah, no, it's all right. It's okay. Wait, hold on. Hold on. Right, so here we have the website over here. There we go. So hopefully you can all still hear me, yeah? Damn this EV Mux.
Yeah, you're good, and we can see the screen. At least I can.
Yeah, okay, cool. So let me just shrink this down a bit. So here we got the chevrons.
I have like a massive echo. I don't know if it's me.
Oh, what was that, George? Did George say something?
No, that wasn't me.
Oh, okay. All right, let me just... Right, okay, yeah. So here we got the chevrons, Balloonnatic. Okay. And then when I go over it, obviously the chevrons disappear because it's the same color as the background color that appears. But what again was the problem? What again is the problem, Balloonnatic? Because I can't remember. You said the chevrons... What did he say again? Can you just remind us what the problem was? Because at the moment, I'm not really seeing any... I mean, the chevrons aren't there when you hover over it, but unless I'm missing something. If anyone can see something I can't, shout it out. Oh, watch the chevrons. I don't know. I'm not seeing the movement. Is anyone else seeing the movement? Is it just me?
Stick the URL in the chat so that we can check it independently. Maybe we can see something that we can't.
So there is a password, though, for you to view the page. That's the password. You get asked for a password. Enter that password in, and you'll see it. So if you go in and just have a look, I'm not seeing the movement. Yeah, Atlantis. I will just copy. This link is for Atlantis, by the way. I've just sent in there. Hopefully we can get her on. So if anyone else is looking at that link, does anyone else see what the problem is? Or not? Because I'm really not seeing it. I'm not getting that movement. I'm going to just look at it on the mobile. On the mobile as well, it's kind of okay. The chevrons aren't moving for me there either. So I don't know if anyone else has clicked on that link that I added in there for Foodie. Does anyone else see a problem with it?
On my end, I can tell you that it's fine. The only thing she should do is change the color for the chevron to white on hover, I guess. But other than that, I don't see anything weird going on.
Yeah, very good point. That's actually a really good point. Yeah, change the color. But so Bluenatic, I would say, what browser are you using? If you say Firefox, that's Firefox. Everything with Firefox is all over the place. Everyone has a problem with Firefox at some point in their lives. But what browser are you using? Maybe you can see something we can't see. And I am just going to now make this screen be super massive. No, it's still not getting it. Right, I'm going to stop sharing that. Let's put it all back down like that. There we go. Yeah. So we're going to scratch that one off as... we're going to call it Safari. Okay, let me just check it in Safari now. Now that you've said that, Safari does sometimes have problems. I think we all know that, right? Every now and again, there's a bit of a peculiar issue. Let's just have a look in Safari. No, mine's okay as well in Safari. Are you on the latest version of Safari? This is one of those peculiar things now, right? And it might be that you're in a parallel universe where everything you look at moves a little bit. But when I go to Safari, it's working fine for me there as well, latest version. Oh, I'm really sorry. Sorry, I think we've got someone else that's joined in. Jerry? Hello, Jerry.
I'm going to go for now, guys, and I will keep you in the background, of course, so still right on the chat, but I have to keep on
go for it.
Working.
Go for it. Go for it,
Thank
Jimmy.
you so much, and I'll see you next time, guys.
Yeah, good to see you.
Connecting.
Take care, mate. Bye.
You take care, guys. Bye.
Bye. I'm about to kick you out now. So far on that issue, Bluenatic, it seems to be fine in a really weird way. And all I can say is that can you go to Safari and delete your cookies? Delete your browsing history, delete your cookies from Safari. And I might even say reset your internet router. So a lot of you might not realize this, but sometimes purging your site, purging your server, and regenerating your CSS is not enough. What you need to do is actually sometimes you need to just turn off your internet, completely turn it off for 10 minutes, because your IP address might be locking onto a moment in time where it's got a bit of a problem. So don't be surprised if you have to do that sometimes. Yep. Hey, Mahboob. Hey, Atif. Yeah, look, if anyone wants to join in on the live chat, you can do. So, Jerry, you've just joined. You got anything you want to say at all? Or not? I'm just going to tell Atlantis to try Edge or Chrome because she can't join in at the moment. Have any of you, I mean, any of you that are on the live chat now, have any of you or anyone anywhere, have you got any up and coming proposals or clients that you're getting excited about or projects that are coming up? Or not? It's okay to say not as well, and you're just trying to get clients, or you're struggling, or yeah, go on, Chingy.
I do have I have one client. It's actually the first client I ever had, and the first full website I built in Elementor. I think I built the website maybe a year and a half ago, 2 years maybe or so. They hit me up a couple weeks ago about creating a blog and also like an events calendar. And I'm probably going to do that. We did have a meeting a couple days ago. We were talking about that. And then after Easter break, we're going to have another meeting and get into the details about that. And it's the first website I built. So like there are a bunch of things that I would have done differently at this point, like with the way that I built the website and also like with SEO and page speed and all that kind of stuff. But it was super interesting, like because I haven't looked at that website for a minute. So it was fun. It was fun, like going back and looking at that, looking at it, and how I dealt with those kind of things at that point. And I do want to, what can I say, update a bunch of things when it comes to like SEO and page speeds and.
It's kind of like one of those things where I know that if I go back to the first 3 or 4 websites we ever built, right, using Elementor, when I look at them, I cringe. I look at them and go, oh my goodness, what were we doing there? You know, and the performance, the page speed, there's no custom fonts, you know, there's so much problems with it. It works fine and the customer's happy with it. So they're okay with it. So don't lose too much sleep. But within yourself, you know, when you can see something and you go, oh,
yeah, that's
man.
the problem, because like they love it and they enjoy the website and it works for them. And all I see is a bunch of issues at this point, like when it comes to page speed and you know, optimization. So I kind of want to just make those changes, but I'm on the fence whether I should just do it or not do it. You know what I mean?
Well, this leads into something where, so it's one of the strategies some people use when they're trying to get businesses. They'll see that there's a business locally or has been advertised. When they go to the website, they go, wow, that looks like it was built 20 years ago. It is really ugly. The colors, the layout, the flow, all of this stuff is really, really bad. And you sort of go, ooh, here's an opportunity to redo a website and get a client. You contact the client and they're like, how dare you? Our website's amazing. And you sort of go, okay, they fall in love with something and they can't see what we can sometimes see, you know, like the spacing, the font, the colors. They just don't see it. And it's one of those where I've now learned that, you know what, no matter how crap a website is, unless you get a feeling the client wants to make a move and do it, you got to weigh up then how much time would you spend on it? Are you going to get paid for your time? If you are, and they okay with it, go for it. If you're just going to do it out of the kindness of your heart, you may improve it and then suddenly create a bigger problem for yourself because there might be something else that gets affected or whatever. So you got to weigh up, like, is it worth doing?
Yeah, I was thinking about bringing it up and talking to them about it, like as part of this, as part of the extra work, and what can I say? Explain to them why I believe we should make some changes, especially in terms of SEO and page speed and optimization on the website, because there are multiple things that I could fix that I didn't know about at that point. And I mean, it was a super cheap website anyways. It's not like you know, it's not like they it was my first as well, so it's not like I got paid a bunch to put that website together, but I would have gone about it completely differently if I made that website today.
And the SEO one is always a good one to kind of maybe get some extra income from if they want to, you know, if they worry about their rankings. I just noticed a question here from Mahboob who says, on Responsinator, his websites don't work. Sometimes on Responsinator, Mahboob, instead of having HTTPS, you got to take the S out. Don't ask me why, but Responsinator don't always like having the S in. So sometimes when you put your URL in, get rid of the S and it works fine. Don't ask me why. It's a problem they've had for ages. But take the S out and then it will connect. That's all you got to do. So Atif is working on something exciting at the moment. I'm going to assume that you're talking about websites and you're not talking about dinner or lunch or something that you're working on right now. But let's assume it's a website. Okay, that's a pretty good thing. Oh, Atlantis.
PJs.
Yeah, you're in.
Don't excuse the mess behind packing.
Oh, yeah. So Atlantis is moving down to Italy soon. Sorry, you might have been there for a good minute or so, and I just noticed you now. But yeah.
Can I turn my camera off? Do you think?
Sorry.
Can I turn my camera off now?
No. Look, it's entirely up to you. And at the end of the day, you know, please don't look at my background and go, oh, it's flashy lights and all of this. You know, I've had conversations with people where they go, oh, you know, because you've got all of this stuff, we don't want to do ours. And I kind of go, it's just lights and background. It doesn't matter. And don't worry about it at the end of the day. Yeah. So Atlantis, when do you move?
2 weeks.
Oh, right. Okay, cool. Right. Okay. Well, you haven't got time to. You haven't
got
got time
for the week, so I have a week of work before I leave. So
yeah. Well,
getting websites done.
Well, you haven't got time to sit here watching us. You should be packing away right now.
I'm working.
I know you are. So I'm just checking the comments always, because you know when you got you guys on screen, I've got to make sure I don't forget that there's people sending comments and just check we haven't missed anything off here at the moment. Yep. So
Jerry is not audible. She's contacted.
Jerry. Yeah, Jerry, is your microphone on? Because I can't hear you. Can't hear you, Jerry. No.
Jerry's microphone meter is moving up and down though, but there's no sound coming through.
Yeah. I'm just going to hide you for a minute, Jerry, and add you again to the stream.
To the person who was having the issue with Chevron, it's actually a Safari bug. If you can change your Chevron to a PNG, or you can give your SVG a size, it'll probably work. Your SVG doesn't have dimensions on it, so there's a Safari bug. You have to actually specify dimensions for that, which is weird, but it's Safari, so.
Oh, okay, well that's a neat little trick there from George. So SVG sizing might sort that out. I was just going to say though that I actually had a bit of a chat with the Elementor people 2 days ago about the Flex containers and when the final version's coming out. And they basically were like, we don't know. And I did point out to them that there is a danger. You're doing all this mass marketing right now. You know, they've got the Playground Flex container website, so anyone can go in and look at it. And they're doing all these webinars. I have said, you better get it done sooner than later, because if you don't, there could be a problem. Yeah. Oh yeah, but by the way, Atlantis, we're getting a bit of feedback through your speakers.
Sorry, do apologize.
Don't worry. It's don't worry. Okay, it's why I've got my headphones on, because
I'm going to have to go find my headphones then.
Yeah, no, don't honestly, don't worry about it. So yeah, Jerry.
Turn me off for a second and I'll find my headphones.
Okay. So Jerry, if we don't hear from you, Atlantis, you can hear Jerry. Oh no, I can't hear. Yeah, so Jerry, if I can't hear from you in the next minute, I'll remove you from the screen, but you can still join in on the live chat on the YouTube side of things. Okay. I think I heard her say, "Yep, she's fine with that." I think I heard her say that. Okay. Do any of you use any other page builders, or is it mainly just Elementor?
At my one
Do I have to
job,
actually answer that? Do I have to answer that for you?
Well, okay, we'll start with let's get George out the way, because I know what George is going to say. Come on, George, spit it out.
I
Spit
don't
it
use
out.
Elementor as much as you might think. I actually don't use it mostly at all unless a client comes already with a website that has Elementor. I'm more of a Divi person, but I'm still here.
Yeah. So we're slowly trying to.
That's not going to happen. You and Xanthi can stop thinking about that because it's not happening.
By the end of this year, we will have converted George. In fact, what we need to do is start a big spamming campaign where we
Many
spam
have
his.
tried, none have accomplished what you're attempting with my friend Xanthi to do. I'm
We
not
need to-
switching to Elementor very anytime soon.
We need
I'm
to.
joking. By the
I know.
way, for anyone listening to the stream, I'm really joking.
I
Use
know.
the
I
tool
know.
that you know and use the toolbox that you know. The only reason I don't use Elementor is because clients in this country are cheap and they don't understand the necessity for paying for a Elementor Pro license. Otherwise, for me, it could have went either way, either Divi or Elementor or whatever. It doesn't really matter as long as you build up your toolbox and you have your tools. Because using a page builder, the great thing about it is if you're efficient enough, you can make more websites with it if you know it
Exactly.
very
Yeah.
well. Like I can tell you, I can code anything, but I don't need to.
Yeah. I have to go to Enniston. It's all right. I have to go to Enniston to get that rubber. Is there anything you wanted?
So I've just lowered Atlantis's microphone there a little bit so we don't get the dog there. Just one more try, Jerry. Are you there? Yeah, I'm not sure. I can see her speakers moving up and down, but we're not hearing her at the moment. Do you want to try again, Jerry? No. Okay, I don't think we can hear you, Jerry. Which is unfortunate. So I'll just hide you out for now. Really sorry about that. Yeah, so Chingy, have you ever used any other page builders?
Past few weeks, I've been forced to use Joomla and Utheme Page Builder.
Yeah.
This in addition to my company, I work for another company as well, and the dude who runs the company didn't want to use WordPress anymore, so we have to build all the future websites in Joomla. So I've been using Utheme Page Builder.
Yeah.
Past few weeks for a project that I'm working on there. I'm creating a gaming video game blog. They're just gonna write reviews on video games they play and blog about game design, technology, stuff like that. And I realized I don't like Joomla at all.
Yeah.
It's I feel like that CMS makes a lot of stuff just a whole lot more difficult and complex, like the most simple things as well. And I'm like, yo, I could have built this site in WordPress in like 2-3 days and we would be done. And then I'm like 3 weeks in now and I'm like, I'm hating it. But I'm starting to understand it now. But it's like, it's just too much for simple things.
And that's one of the reasons why. So George is in that slightly comfortable position where he's a real expert on Divi, and he's getting around with Elementor as well, so he could jump where he needs to. I am one of those where because I've played around with other page builders, really found it comfortable with Elementor, and that's all I want to work with now. Even that we've had clients come to us in the past where they want to use different solutions or whatever, and I've kind of drawn the line and gone, I'm not saying I couldn't work it out, but I tell you what, one of the reasons I use Elementor Pro is because I don't want to use Elementor Free, then have to use loads of like extra free plugins, then mess around with the settings, then realize they don't work right, and go with Elementor Pro. I could have done that, boom, like that, done that like that, done like that, and you just fly and you go with it, right? Yep. And when you're working with Joomla or whatever, if something that you could have done in 1 hour is now taking you 4 hours, boy, is it frustrating.
It's
Or
so
you got to,
frustrating.
resort to code or stuff as well. And
Yeah, I felt like I've completely forgot everything that I knew about building websites when I when they told me I had to use Joomla.
yeah,
And it's a good thing to learn something new. I don't mind that, but it's like midway into the project, that's when I got that message that we can only use Joomla. That was 2 days after I started building the site in WordPress with Elementor. So like the timing of that was kind of annoying, and then needing to learn this whole new CMS and that system, and it's too complex for
yeah.
in terms of building a simple blog.
Yeah. Well, it's I get a lot of direct messages every day from people via the Facebook Elemental group, and 90% of them are using Elemental free. And they say their clients refuse to pay for Elemental Pro, and they want to do XYZ. And I'm like, you've got to get them to use Pro, because that feature is in Pro. And you don't even need any CSS, you don't need any coding, anything like that. It's there. And when they say to me, but our client doesn't want to do that, I often have to say, as web developers and designers, we've got to be confident enough to be able to say to people, look, you want XYZ, you got to invest. And the analogy I give to people is, someone might come to you and say, I want a really fast car. You're not just going to try and give them a decent car. You'll say, you've got to invest in the engine and the equipment or whatever. Or if someone says to you, I want a cinema room in my house with a massive screen and seating and sound speakers, but they don't want to pay for the speakers. Well, what can you do then? So it's kind of trying to get them to understand that. And I think, I know a lot of people out there, they don't want to invest in a system, but I say any business that does, Atif, you're joining in. I'll just add you to the screen. So what we're saying is, if people don't want to invest in their website, then I start to question, how serious are they about their business? How serious are they about scaling up? And that kind of then says a bit to me about, okay, this is a business where we'll get the website done, but is there any potential later on for further work or income, like SEO and all of that? It tells you a lot about the client, if that makes sense. Because how many times do you build a website and the minute it goes live, they're like, but I'm not on page 1 on Google. And you go, yeah, it doesn't work like that. Google does not base those rankings on a brand new website. It's based on lots of other little things that you have to do in the background. And if anyone says, I'm not going to pay for Elementor Pro, I walk away. I literally do. I kind of go, yeah, I don't want to get involved. Yeah, go on, Chingy.
I do the same. Like, if they don't want to invest in Elementor Pro, I just don't want to work with them, because it's $50 for a whole year. It's not that much. And if you're not willing to invest $50 into your business, then I don't really see what I would get from working with that company,
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I mean, in fact, the other thing that puts me off is if a client comes to me and they're using their Ocean WP theme, I walk away. I run. I go, no, I don't want to know. I don't want to know about Ocean. I have my issues with Ocean WP. I know people love it. I just jump to hello and that is it. Hey, Atif, good to have you here.
Speaking of Ocean, that was, I remember the first website I ever did was with Ocean. And I thought it was the bee's knees. And then I found Elementor and Hello. And I'm like, wow, they've just stuffed it with so much stuff. And it's so confusing.
No, it is true. I'm just going to say hey to Jason. Carapos, $50 is nothing for business. Agree. Atlantis. So when I first started using Elementor, I used Astra a lot. And then when I got Elementor Pro, after 1 month, I realized I need to get Elementor Pro. Just using Elementor free on its own and plugins. You end up having 4 plugins on your website: happy add-ons, premium add-ons, essential add-ons, recipe for disaster. I used to use Astra. Once I moved to Elementor Pro, I've always used Hello now. The reason why, and I bet the reason, Atif, why you went to Ocean, and you can tell me if I'm wrong, so many YouTubers, and the reason why they promoted Ocean was because of the affiliate commission they got for it. And it's a bit like when Cadence came out, they all promoted. Has anyone here used Cadence? It is so complex, the settings for it. You try and do the header settings in Cadence. I was like this for half an hour going, what the heck? Why have we got 20 settings for the header? What is this all about? But I tend to say to people that go with hello. If you really aren't going to use hello, then Astra. Ocean has its problems. Whenever there's an update, Ocean sites break. But the only time I won't use hello or even Astra is for a directory website. The My Listing theme for directory is amazing. It's built with Elementor. It's built to be with Elementor. So all of these other ones like Listing Pro or all these other directories, there's a bit of work you got to do with them. But the My Listing theme, it's so easy and simple to use. But so what do you use now, Atif? Now, what do you prefer to use? You're going to say Cadence.
No, I've not used any. To be honest, if it's like a WordPress site, I just use Hello and Elementor. No, you know, you're exactly right. I did Ocean because for CMS type sites, I was only using Drupal, and then Drupal did a big update in Drupal 8 or 9, and it just became even more like long to just do basic things. And so then I started checking out other things, and then I saw a YouTube video of this. I can't remember who it was. He made this video made a nice little hero section in like 5 minutes with Hello Ocean, and I was like, wow, that would take me like half an hour in Drupal. So I just gave it a go. But then it's like with anything, once you get into something, you start looking around and seeing what other people are doing, and then Elementor just came across.
Well, I can tell you, whenever there's like a problem reporting in the Elementor community group, 9 times out of 10, I'll ask them, what theme are you using? And they'll say Ocean WP. So whenever there's an Elementor Pro update, 9 times out of 10, it's because of Ocean WP. And when they switch to Hello, the problem's gone. And I go, it's because Ocean WP are very slow at updating their plugin in line with an Elementor update, because behind the scenes, Elementor do let them all know, like a week or so in advance. Happy add-ons are really quick at sorting things out in time for it. I think premium add-ons aren't too bad, but some of the other plugins, they wait for a problem and then they go and fix the problem, which ain't great if you've got a big website. I just want to mention, Bo, that like I love all the like headphones you got, like Chingy. That looks like a proper sound blocking headphone you got on there. I like your headphone, Atif, and I've got to say, Dillbag, because of your turban, you've got your headphones like that. I'm just trying to work out. Okay, have you got your? Do you have to increase your sound to get it into your ears? I'm just wondering, because it's like
it's already on the full. Actually, I use those earpieces which you can insert in my turban, right? So
I was wondering, that would be better. Just checking the.
I didn't have these on. I heard. I was just joining, and then I heard Atlantis and all this speaker and I was like, all right, quickly grab it and put it in.
Yeah, to be honest, I prefer to have my headphones like here, and then I let the sound travel up to my. I'm not a fan of wearing headphones. I just feel like it warms the head up, and I feel like I'm having a heat stroke right now with it. Just checking the questions. Elicor, he knew of WordPress. He used Astra. Arsenal Football Club. Are you telling me you? Hold on, what's going on here? Have you designed a football club website, Elicor? Elicor, tell us a bit more here. You've said that you've used Elementor to design Arsenal Football Club. Are we talking about the actual football club, or are we talking about a Subutio club or FIFA 2001? Are we actually talking about the football club here? And you've said, help me join the Elementor group. The Facebook group is free to join.
I think Elicor did it as a project in school, I'm guessing.
Last semester for a project, right? Oh, yeah, you're right. I've read it again.
You got happy.
Also, Chingy, I've been sitting here and I've been wondering, should I cry for you or should I don't know what I should do. Because you're using Joomla and I just want to cry for you. I don't really know.
Oh, yeah, please cry for me. It's been giving me a headache for the past few weeks.
I'm actually thinking of praying for you tonight. To be honest. To be honest, I used to use Joomla and I used to code in Joomla.
Yeah.
And it has not gotten better. I can tell you that. And I've
Yeah.
also got news for you. Disclaimer, I'm not advertising anybody, but it is what it is. SiteGround actually no longer supports use of Joomla with their site tools. And there's a reason for that, because it's very, very hackable. And I say that not lightly.
Yeah.
So there's a reason we don't use it.
Yeah. So what I'm going to say to everyone that is currently here with their camera, double check your bank accounts, because while we're all here, George has hacked all of your bank accounts right now.
First of all, good news for you. Even if I was a hacker, which I'm not saying I am, they don't usually advertise it.
No, of course not, George. Of course not. No. What I wanted to say, though, because the conversation has drifted a little bit into other different types of page builders, and I'm pretty sure that most of you like using Elementor. I know George likes using Divi. In the chat, whether you say it here or even in the live chat, can you let me know about any other page builders you've had to use in the last 12 months and give it a score out of 100% on how much you enjoyed working with it? So if you've used Joomla and you enjoy, I mean, Chingy, you've enjoyed it 100%. So if you want to put 99%, go for it, because I know you love using it.
Oh,
but
yeah,
if any of you use
so much.
So Karapos, you've said WP Bakery. What percent would you give it out of 10? In fact, out of 10, don't give a percent. Out of 10, how would you have scored it when it came to page building? Balloon-natic, quickly. I've never heard of that. What's quickly? Gutenberg, 3 out of 10. Yeah, do you know what? There's a massive thing about Gutenberg at the moment, isn't there? So many people are promoting it. I've gone in, I've played around with it, and I feel like it's like going back in time 20 years. It's like going back to when WordPress first came out and you first started experimenting with drag and drop and stuff. I just don't see, oh God, Visual Composer. Let's not go there with Visual Composer. How dare they call themselves Visual Composer for starters, right? It's awful. Kink Composer. Oh, quickly is a builder on. Okay, right. Yeah, no. I mean, has anyone here tried Gutenberg? Has anyone said, oh, let me just have a look? Because so many influencers are promoting it for the wrong reasons. In my opinion, you shouldn't be promoting to your viewers something that, in my opinion, takes you back a step. And I know they might say, oh, but, you know, it saves you paying for Elementor Pro. I'm sorry. Even if the Elementor Pro license was $99 for one site, I would pay $99 for one site just because of how much freedom it gives me to design and do things. You know, like that, boom, 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 and just get on with things. You know, I would do it. And I think for what we get for $49, I mean, look, I know that Elementor is not perfect. I know that there's bugs. I know there's problems. But, you know, the fact that there is always a new feature coming out. Some of the features they bring out, you could say, did we really need that? Like, where's the mega menu? We need the mega menu, right? I can do it with code, but I want a proper mega menu. Save me having to do code. Where is it? You know, I mean, I have to be honest. You know the feature they brought out with the global colors where you can move them up and down? Did anyone really care about that? Like, oh, brilliant. I can now rearrange the global colors. I was like, who cares? You know, like, whatever.
That was a feature?
Yeah, it was like 3.6. You know, like, who, like, no. Did anyone get excited about the fact you can now rearrange the global colors? Like, I mean, you know, it's like they pulled it out the bag. You can rearrange. Like, forget that. Give me the mega menu, right?
I remember when they made a big deal about the eyedropper. I mean, that was really good, and I really wanted it. But I thought that should have been there from the start, like the eyedropper tool.
I've had problems with the eyedropper. So sometimes, you know, when you use it, sometimes I use it and it kind of it doesn't work properly.
Yeah.
Do you still use the eyedropper?
No, I use a plugin, a Chrome plugin.
So do I. I use because I have found that was more reliable. But when you did eyedropper, sometimes it made my page freeze.
Yeah, it did that to mine.
And I was a bit like, okay, this is not so good as what it is, you know. And I tell you something that I think Elementor do need to implement. So I use a MacBook, and you know, if you do Command-Shift-5, you can use your screen capture tool.
Mm.
And when you use that, it actually you can size it to show the pixel difference between stuff. You can rearrange it. What Elementor need to implement is like a pixel ruler. So when you activate it, when you're looking at stuff on your screen, it automatically, when you move a bit like Adobe XD, when you move your mouse over somewhere, it shows it's 50 pixel difference. It's 40 pixels, it's 22 pixels. Something that very quickly visually allows you to see what is the gap between your elements and your widgets. Because often you'll do it manually and then you sit there and you kind of go, sometimes you get out a bit of paper and you put it against the screen to check everything is level or straight or whatever. But I think if they were to enable like the pixel numbers to appear, I think that would make things so much more efficient. You can activate it, you can deactivate it if you want to see it or not. I think that would really help. I don't know if anyone's got any thoughts about that.
I think Jerry is trying to talk to you in the chat.
Is it? Right, so Jerry. Okay, right, I'm going to get Atlantis back on.
Hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. Hold on, let me just get your... Go on, Jerry. Atlantis, sorry, there you go. Yeah, so Jerry, do you want to try reconnecting? Because your camera's not there. Yeah, okay, we'll see if Jerry can come on. Just checking the comments. So George has worked with King Composer. Elicor's not using the paid version of Elementor. Okay, right. Tell us why not, Elicor. Convince all of us not to use Elementor Pro. Convince us all. Tell us why you're not using the paid version. What's your solutions that you like to implement? Right now, Elicor is going to save all of us $49 a year. And we all promise to send those $49 to Elicor if he convinces us. So Elicor, you're going to walk away today with about $400 million worth of income from all of us if you can convince us right now. Okay? Just waiting for Elicor to reply there. Dave then only uses Gutenberg to write the blog. Yeah, okay, so what Dave has said is absolutely true. When I do a blog post or for a client, absolutely use the WordPress post, right? You put your image in, you put your words in, you do a bit of layout with how you do it. That's it. Elementor is just used for the single post template. I've had some clients where they've built their blog post entirely in Elementor. So every post is an Elementor page. And I keep telling them, you're making extra work for yourself. It's much more efficient to have a standard single post template. You then write your blog post, right? You publish, job done. You know, because it's just an efficient way to do it. Yeah, yeah, I mean, that is true, Mark, as well. But what I would say, Elicor, though, okay, is that when you're building a website, you shouldn't have to use your license. So when the customer is paying for the website to be built, within the cost is the cost for the license. So they will pay for that within it. And then it's up to them to renew it every year, or they pay you a hosting maintenance package. And every year, then the cost of renewal comes out of that. What you could do, though, is, hey, George, we've got George on camera.
My computer crashed and now my camera's working. How does that sound for a Windows PC?
No, that is perfect. We've got you on now, George. We've got you on. So I was just saying that. So we've got the Elementor Expert license. When we bought it 2 years ago, we got 1,000 licenses. Whoopee for us. However, we say to the client, as part of the hosting package, you can either pay $49 to get Elementor Pro yourself, or as part of the hosting package, we'll give you the license, but every year you still have to pay for it. But you will only pay, because they're paying you monthly, it's included within there. So you're giving them a license, but it's only if they are paying as part of their hosting maintenance package. So I would say that, if a client, if a client doesn't want to buy it, you can even, if they do though want to do a hosting package, inside of there, you could give them a license as part of that. But you're going to know best what works for you and your clients. So good to have you on camera, not Carapos, George. Good to have you on.
I keep pressing my mute button just in case you keep hearing sounds from like TVs and stuff that are going on in the house. But
not really getting much sound come through. It's all right.
Other than that, it's fine. I actually regret not buying an Elementor license when the pricing was still low now. Not because I use Element, and the reason I didn't buy the license was I'm not an Elementor person. My base is Divi. I don't have the toolbox to do Elementor websites, and now I regret it because I should have done it. And the night the price was going to go up, I was like, should I do it? Should I not do it? And I didn't, and now I regret it because I could have used it for people that now come in with Elementor websites and they don't have a license.
I'm just going to very quickly say, take care, Jimmy. Good to have you on live earlier. We'll see you soon, Jimmy. Take care. Bye. Yeah, I mean, it is one of those lessons learned moments, isn't it? Because we were building websites, and our first 3 or 4 clients, we used Elementor free, and we used loads of add-ons. And, I think there was an update that came out for Elementor, and all of their websites went boom, like that. Plugin incompatibility, issues galore. Luckily, we were still able to get it before the price hike happened. I think it happened 5 months after we bought it. And it is just one of those things that, you wish you kind of got earlier. But as long as you include it in your pricing model, as long as the client is paying for it in a way, so it's not coming out of your back pocket, yeah. Hold on, just checking what Elementor has said there. I'm not using that for business. Right. So it's not using it for business now. Right. Got you, Elementor. Totally get you now. Yep. I totally agree. Yeah, Elementor. Yeah. And look, when you do get to that stage where you do want to start using Elementor Pro, reach out to me, okay? I'm not saying on here that I would help Elementor out with anything. I'm just saying when you're ready to use Elementor Pro, just reach out to me, okay? That's all I'm saying. All right? Take that how you want to take it, okay? It's up to you. Right, okay. Just double checking if there's anyone else who's joining in as well on the camera, because I know, Jerry, you're probably getting really annoyed out at the moment in the background, but the ability to get you to join in isn't there at the moment. Okay, just checking the questions. Sorry, I'm going to say something then. Oh, I thought someone said something then. Hey, Stacey, how you doing? As you can see, Stacey, we've got multiple people here on live chat at the moment. And if anyone wants to join in, you can do. Atif, what are you working? Oh, sorry. Go on, Atlantis. Go on.
Well, for me, having Elementor Pro, I just use it. I think of it as a business cost, like having Adobe, etc., updating all my software. So to me, it's just a business cost, and I don't pass it on. I do and I don't pass it on to my clients. It's when I give them a price for a website, it's included in that. But every year, I just pay the price.
Yeah, to be honest, though, if we have a really, really amazing relationship with a client, like, I mean, it's so amazing, right, that you would happily invite them to your funeral. So they're now on my funeral list because they're amazing clients, right? Okay. Mainly because then they'll be like, how the heck do we update our website? Has he left the password for us or whatever? But I have helped some of them out with an Elementor Pro license, and it's all down to relationships as well. And, like you said, we've got, if you were lucky enough to get 1,000 licenses when it was only like $200, let's be honest here. Who here is close? I don't know how many licenses you have, but who's close to ever using up 1,000 licenses? Would be millionaires.
I think I'm up to about 300 by now.
Wow, brilliant.
But it's just, I had to go back every now and again and get rid of all the, the setup ones where I was building sites on subdomains. So, but no, I mean, it's okay. I was going to say something else that was on my head, but that's not unusual for me. But well, yeah, that's what I was going to say. When I do build a site, I don't allow my clients access to Elementor. I always take them; they don't have access to it ever.
Got you.
If they come back looking for it, then they're going to have to pay me for it.
Got it. Okay. Oh, okay. So you using like some is that based on the role access you've given them, or are you using like an additional plugin or
role access?
Yeah.
So generally, I only give them access to the blog.
Yeah.
Or the shop.
The author or something like that then, or
yeah.
Is it the author?
Author, but I mean, I use a lot of I build a lot of sites with so I use Amelia a lot and stuff like that. So they're allowed access to that, but they're not allowed access to Elementor ever. So if they bugger it up, then they have to come back and pay me.
Yeah, no, and that's kind of how it is. Just want to say hey to Catherine. So Jerry, you've appeared twice. So I've one of them is Jerry, and one of them is Jerry's screen. So Jerry's coming on twice. So I'm gonna see if Jerry's able to join. So we just wait to see if Jerry's able to join in. But hey, Catherine, good to have you here. What I was going to ask was, like, Atif, are you working on anything at the moment? Like any clients or projects or anything?
Yeah. Working on a health site. It's like a health service company. They're launching like a new kind of health service. It's got a few different things. It's like a health check, having a health check for yourself.
Are you based in the UK?
Yeah.
Whereabouts are you again?
London. I'm in London.
You're in London, yeah.
Yeah.
Is this like with the NHS or a private company?
It's private company.
Private company. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, that's I mean, I always find that when you make contacts with a health company, especially in the UK, it potentially can open the doors to other opportunities and other work, potentially. So it's not a bad market to be working in. But that's really.
I mean, I've done work for the NHS in the past. They're quite a difficult client, I found, because there's a lot of bureaucracy, and then more so, they don't pay on time.
No, they don't. No. Oh no, it has to.
They're the worst for paying.
Yeah, they are. It's got to go through like audit, finances, and then they say, "Oh, we'll pay you at the end of the finance." I don't know, different times of the year. George has mentioned AAM, Advanced Access Manager. It's free. So, George, do you want to tell us more about that?
It's just a plugin that when you install it, you can basically go onto the backend and you can say, okay, for this user type, for example, a shop manager, WooCommerce website, or some kind of user role that you've created, you can say, okay, restrict the menu for this, and this. You can decide not to show them the plugins menu, or you can decide not to show, even if they're an admin. I mean, you can just say, for this person, you can say, I don't want them to see this. Like, I don't know Elementor well enough to know what the role manager does, but my issue is usually not the page builder. Like, I can do role management in Divi and in Elementor, but it's usually like my other plugins that I secretly have there that do things for them that they shouldn't have access to, even if they want to feel like they're the admin, because that's just a feeling. They're not actually the admin. No.
I think that's a nice little plugin to have a play around with, and I'm going to play around with that and just see what it does. Elikor says he can't see George. Are you sure? He's on screen. George, wave your hands. There you go. Look, yeah. There you go. George is there.
I can't see myself on YouTube either, to be honest. It's black, but...
Oh, do you know what? That is weird. Right, let me just hide George and add him again. So
it's quite interesting. Sorry to ask you guys, do you get this issue quite a lot? Because I don't really have come across many times where the client said, "I want admin access," or they're quite happy for me to do it, or us to do it. So I don't know. Is this something that you guys encounter quite often?
Yeah, I do. I get
Wow.
quite a lot where clients don't want to have any. Yes, just want to say, George, I don't know why your camera's not showing.
It doesn't matter. It's fine.
Yeah, okay.
So
I
My
don't want
face
to.
isn't as
I can see
important
him.
as other people. You know, it's fine.
I can see him.
So can I.
Yeah, it's on the live. It's not showing through, and I wonder if it's just a bit of a. Anyway, yeah.
It might be my old camera from a million years ago, like it's a C310 or something. And
Well, I can
sometimes
see.
it just bugs out.
No. I can see you, so it's a bit of a weird one. Why that's not happening at the moment. But yeah, sorry. It's what we were saying about. Yeah. So what Atif said about most of my clients don't want to have anything to do with the back end. They don't want to worry about it. They just want us to handle it, do updates or whatever like that. They're absolutely fine with it. So we are the admin. I always get a bit uncomfortable with that sometimes. I have to be honest, because I always because you basically own the website now. And sometimes there are some notifications that come through about the website. Maybe they're a WooCommerce website, whatever. But you're the owner of it. And there's always, you then got to do a bit more work to ensure they get the notifications and whatever. So I always say to them, are you sure about that? Because what if I drop dead? Right? I drop dead, or I do a runner or something like that. Okay. Because they don't even want to know the username or password. You set them up and they've never logged in. And you kind of go, you do understand the risk you're setting up here. I mean, I over the weekend I had an argument with someone. Hey Michael, Mr. Bluenatic. Hey. Hey. And you've got your green screen as well. So I was going to say, so I had an argument on the weekend with someone who wants a bit of help with their website potentially. They got a third-party company to register their domain and their hosting in their name. And I said to them, this company, did you check the company out? Because they did it in March. And they went, no. I went, right, I've gone and checked the company. They nearly went bust in December. Christmas just gone. They were ready to dissolve. And there was lots of court proceedings against them. Did you bother checking? They're like, no, because they're a friend of a friend. I was like, yeah, but you do understand the domain is in their name.
Yeah.
So if they go, they go bust or whatever. And I contacted the domain guy and he was like, yeah, but if anything goes wrong, you contact Nominet. You go through Nominet and you get it transferred. And I went, why don't you just do the decent thing and just transfer the ownership now? They've paid for it. It's actually through 20i. So just go back to 20i and transfer the ownership into their name. So they will continue to pay you your fee because you're doing the hosting, whatever you're doing, the third party reselling. But transfer the ownership, the registrant bit of the domain to them. And he was like, he gave me a bit of a lecture on the phone about, how Nominet work and all of this. And I said, I don't care. You drop dead. They've got no login to their domain. They haven't even got a proper invoice from this person either because they paid a friend of a friend. So I said, you drop dead. What happens to their website? They've technically going to have no rights to the domain name because they've got nothing to prove it. So I always get a bit nervous about in the last year, I say to my clients, this is where you go to buy your domain and get your hosting or whatever. Yeah, our job is not. Cheap. Yeah, our job is not to do your hosting. Because I tell you what, I don't know how you guys feel. Even if you get, say, SiteGround, and you sell it on behalf of SiteGround, it becomes your problem when there's a hosting problem. You're the middleman in trying to sort it out. So we make clear we're not hosting you. That's all done there. But we're there to support, problem solve, maintain, and help you out, which you pay a monthly package for or whatever. But so now, and some of our clients get a bit annoyed. Oh, this is so complicated. And I'm like, I even give them a 2-minute video. You go to 123reg. This is where you type your domain. I even do it with their domain. You click here. You don't click that. You don't click that. You pay. Boom. Remember your password. And then we crack on with the other bit. Because I just say to them that letting anyone else buy your domain for you, the minute your website becomes really popular, they might turn around and say, right, yeah, the renewal cost is now £1,000, £2,000, whatever. Go on, Michael.
Well, I was just thinking recently I experienced with one client who, you know, bought their domain themselves, which I always encourage, but yeah, forgot to pay for it.
And then
like
what?
2 months. Well, it's 2 months later, and the company's like, "Well, we've got to close down the domain, and we're going to resell it." And it's like, whoops. What do you do there? You know, the company's a charity. There's 12 different people working for it, and nobody's responsible for anything. Nothing's on a company credit card because, again, a charity, they don't have a credit card.
One charity group I did, and they came back to me, oh, we can't get into the site, blah, 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 blah. So I had a quick look, and I went, did you get an email about your SSL certificate? Yeah. So did you pay for it? Do we have to? Yeah. Certificate. It's up for renewal.
By the way, everyone, you might have noticed all of your faces disappearing for a moment. It's because I'm trying to get George on screen.
You don't have to, mate. You're wasting your time.
Okay, because I can see George, and I think most of you can. But the world right now, it looks like George has disappeared into a black hole. It's just a black.
The world isn't missing anything. Don't worry.
He's guy incognito.
As long as my voice works, it's fine.
Yeah. Oh, that's all we care about. Well, I'll tell you what I'm going to be doing at the end of this live chat, right? I'm measuring.
I don't want to know.
I'm measuring my desk. I need to get a different size. So this room I'm in, it's a 2 meter by 2 meter room. It's a small room in the house that I've used as a studio, and right now I'm about 50 centimeters away from the wall. And I'm not that far from the wall here. I'm quite cramped. And the desk I've got here, when I have to leave the room, I literally have to shimmy around the desk to get outside the room. So I need to get a new desk in here. But yeah, hopefully we'll get George in one day. Just checking Dave Den's question there. So he, problem 5 years ago, he had a friend, their employee designed a website. After he resigned, he had no login to his web host or backend, and that's what I mean. You know, whenever someone says to me, "a friend of a friend," I say to them, "Right, that means they're not a real friend," because you don't say "a friend of a friend." You say "they're my friend," don't you? You go, "Hey, yes, someone I know, someone I work with." When you say "a friend of a friend," I sort of go, "Well, that's like saying the ice cream man that comes down the road in his van. He's a friend of a friend because I've known him for 4 years, but he's not really. I don't even know his name." I think my ice cream man's name is Ben. He comes to 5 years. We talk a lot. I don't even know his name. He knows my name, but I don't know. I feel bad to say. So what's your name again? You're not really Mr. Whippy, are you? Mr. Whippy, Ben Whippy. Do you know what, George? One day we are going to get you on camera because the world right now is in panic mode. They all want to see you.
They don't need to see me. Curry Post that's asking to see my face. He has seen my face on my own live stream, so he doesn't really need to see me. He just wants to know you.
Okay.
So
well, yeah.
I have a horror story about a client that's very recent,
it.
and I'm actually not going to take them on because it just peed me off. No offense.
Go on, go for it.
Like,
tell us.
She came saying that she had a bad experience with a previous developer. It's the same old story.
It's probably me.
And I'm like, yeah. And I'm like, that's fine. So can you get the previous developer to transfer website data, domain name, blah, 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 to wherever? And we go through the process. They have a Office 365 email with our friends GoDaddy. We love GoDaddy, just so you know. He's joking. Okay, so he supposedly does the transfer, but he didn't do the 365 transfer because he says he can't, and I don't understand why he can't because it's insane to me. So I talked to GoDaddy for 2.5 hours, right? I convinced them that that I am actually the new developer for this person and they should give me control of it, but they can't give me any of the previous emails, which I luckily backed up from her computer before telling them to destroy everything. So I got that going, and then she come back saying to me that I had a domain once upon a time that's not xyz.com, but it's abc.com. And I'm like, okay, that's fine. Where is it? Where is it? It's fine. That's cool, but where is it? And she says, that guy has it. And I call the guy and I'm like, she wants her abc.com domain. And he says to me, well, she had it once upon a time. She didn't renew it. So I just stopped paying for it and I changed her domain name. And I said to him, like, how did you even do that without her permission? Like, why didn't you just go to her and say, your domain is expired. Do you want to pay for it? And continue, right?
Yeah.
And now she's looking for that domain and she says to me, why don't you just buy it? And you go onto like these GoDaddy websites where this domain is now visible, and it's like $3,000 a year. And I'm like, do you want to pay $3,000? If you want to, go ahead, put in your credit card and do it. Like,
yeah,
I'm not doing that. Like, I'm not doing that for you.
And that is just like.
And then she's like, I have a marketing plan. I have a product to launch, and it's coming up in a month. And I'm like, okay. And who's going to do the marketing for you? Because I'm not a marketing person, so I'm assuming somebody was doing this for you before. And she's like, no, my web guy did. I'm like, okay. And she says to me, I used to be first on Google for this phrase, and this phrase. I'm like, wait, what? How do you become first for phrases on Google unless you pay money? I said to her, did you pay him ads maybe? I'm just asking because I don't know anything. And this guy is non-responsive, so I can't even ask the question. The guy is like, whenever I ask him something, he's like, I'm working on it. And I'm like, what are you working on? I don't get it. Like, I don't understand what that means.
Yeah. So the story I gave you all about the person I spoke to on the weekend about the domain, when I called him up, the first thing he said to me, right, and he's based in the UK as well, the first thing he said was, you should be lucky I'm answering because I don't work weekends. And I was a bit like, wow. I get that. We are all precious about our time. But I was a bit like, if you're going to manage hosting for people, right, you got to be a bit flexible of your timing. And if someone contacts you, he didn't even know who I was. He was like, sorry, just want to let you know, I don't normally work Saturday, but tell me what is the problem. And then when I spoke to him, I think he got even more irritated, by all of that. But yeah, I mean, like these examples we could go on and on about. Is like, I hate it when I start working with someone and I can see that web designers, developers, we get quite a bad name. You've got to be honest here, right? We do get a bit of a bad reputation sometimes because someone's had a bad experience or they didn't get what they want. And, even this guy on Saturday, when he spoke to me, he was like, I manage domain and hosting. You are the web developer. And the world does sometimes think as web developers as like basic skill set. Sometimes they don't understand or respect the amount of work and effort and problem solving we have to do behind the scenes for them. But I wanted to ask a question here. And I hope everyone here on the live chat and on the YouTube chat, I hope you're all going to be really brutally honest with me, okay? How many of you do use GoDaddy? Don't say I don't want to know if you use it because your client does. If your client uses it, you're stuck. But how many of you actually like using GoDaddy? I'd love to know how many here do actually use
I used to. There was a time they were actually pretty good, but now it's
you go back 20 years, most companies were pretty good.
Yeah, it's a bit like Bluehost. I think when Bluehost were first out, Bluehost were actually quite good and reliable. And then when they got, what's the company's name? The one that took over, it's the same company that took over GoDaddy and Bluehost.
EIG.
EIG. I couldn't remember if it was EIC or EIG, but that company, right? As soon as they come on board, everything just went all just absolutely rubbish. But I'd love to know if there is anyone who still at this moment in time does enjoy using GoDaddy. Chingy, have you got shares in GoDaddy?
I will never use GoDaddy ever.
No, not at all.
No.
I had Bluehost for a few days recently, and then I talked to you, remember? And
Yeah.
I switched back to where I was. This Norwegian company that I switched back to, and yeah, I'm happy I talked to you because it was a terrible 3 days.
Yeah, it is, and like, and again, the world at the moment is so much driven by what we see as adverts and promotions, and all it takes is a celebrity or someone you know to come out and go, "Hey, Wix is amazing, GoDaddy is amazing." I mean, in the UK, Atif, you're going to know what I'm talking about here, okay? When you have Harry Redknapp and you have these celebrities promoting GoDaddy, and I sit there going, Harry Redknapp's probably never even touched the internet in his life, and he's promoting GoDaddy. What the heck is?
Have you seen that commercial that they coming out with? How easy it is to make a website. They've got this that guy from, I don't know if you saw the phone shop. Used to be a sitcom.
I know who you mean. Dom, whatever his name is. Phone jack. Yeah, but it's like IONS. One-on-one, the amount of adverts IONS were putting on TV. Hey, you want a shop website? You just load it up.
And yeah.
And I thought they're going, yeah, if you want your website to look like everybody else's, fine, go for it. But the minute you want SEO and all this other stuff, or, I don't know, you want to have access to George or Chingy and all these other people and experts, you're going to regret it. Especially when you pay £1 a month, but there's not that you don't get the proper SSL, or you don't get email, or you don't get backups, or you don't get a staging site. And when you say to them a staging site, they kind of look at you and go, "But I don't like to do drama. I'm not into films and movies. What's a staging site?" And you go, "No." You have to explain everything, but I do like. I have to be honest. I do love the fact that the more I talk to you guys, the Elementor Facebook group, the people on the live chat, I love the fact that there's so much more clued up people who know what they're talking about, who actually think about their customers. Look, let's be honest. We all want to make money. We all want to make an income. We've got to pay the bills, kind of thing. But at the same time, we're not just kind of like, I like to think we're not scamming. We're not ripping off. We care about. We have a heart in here, and we want to make a difference. But at the same time, and this is where I have to say big thanks to everyone on here. Okay, that we are all a little bit competitive. We want to get the client. We want to get the job. But if we can help someone else out, even if it's a fellow developer with a bit of advice, with a plugin they need to use, maybe there's a bit of code, maybe we can give them a bit of experience about, well, I had this same problem and this is how I went about it. Just that shared learning, that community spirit. I'm so glad because, I know what it's like when you work in some industries or you work with some people where they don't want to share what they do. Because they don't want to, they want to be, they're very competitive and they kind of go, yeah, I'll tell you the solution, but you got to pay me for it. Or, oh, yeah, I know what to do, but I'm not going to tell you what to do kind of thing. And I'm glad that I think we're more mature. And I think we kind of see that, look, one day George helps out with some code. I might be able to offer George something. Most likely not, because he'll hack my machine and get out.
I get flack for helping people because coders don't share, is the idea. We don't share without getting paid because I'm a coder. And like people say, why do you give out free advice on YouTube? I'm like, what do you care? Did you lose money? I don't understand why you care. No. Why are you giving me flack? Why?
Absolutely, a lot of people are petty.
It's such a pain.
Yeah.
You actually reminded me of a horror story with GoDaddy again. Where they have their lovely page builder,
the one that they store. Go on.
They advertise this page builder that they have that people can, they click a button and it magically creates a website.
Yeah.
So somebody came to me and they said to me, "There's something wrong with my website," and I'm saying to them, "Okay, give me access and I'll tell you why." They give me access and I see the GoDaddy thing, and there is no hosting on the GoDaddy. The domain exists, the emails are working and stuff like that, but there's no hosting. That's fine. I check their billing history, and I noticed that they have decided not to auto renew the builder. And I say to them, okay, so you had a website once upon a time 6 months ago. You didn't notice it was down for 6 months, but you weren't actually paying the builder, the thing that you used to create the website on your own. Because he said to me, I said to them, who's your developer? And they said, we didn't need one because we can do it ourselves.
Exactly. Click button.
I'm like, okay, that's cool. So okay, then why aren't you paying this, which is your website? Because now it's gone, and I can't even request GoDaddy to restore it because it's been 6 months. They only keep it for like a month, I think, something.
Yeah.
And they're like, yeah, but one of our friends that's a developer said we don't need to pay for that. Well, I said to them, that is sad because you have currently lost your website. So now you need an actual person to build a website for you, who you will be paying every year to have a website. Otherwise, you're not going to have a website. That is just it.
We've done many GoDaddy websites. That same problem. We've had to take a website built in Wix and rebuild it. And it's for me it's a case of, I understand where they're coming from, where they wanted to get a solution out for little outlay because they weren't sure about if the website or the business model was going to work. I totally get that. When that happens, I don't mind so much. I tell you where it does bother me. When you have a potential client and you're telling them about the best solution to implement, and they say to you, yeah, but why do I have to pay that? Why do I have to get my hosting here when I can go to GoDaddy? And when you try and explain to them the problems they might have, but they don't want to know because they've got their heart set on a cheap solution, like even 123 Reg. They were promoting £1 websites massively on the radio. Every day I was hearing radio adverts. Yeah, get your website built for like £1 a month or whatever. And I can see how people get sucked into it. But when I will do my best, and if after 5 minutes I can see that this person is just going to continuously go there, I wish them all the best. I make sure they know my details. I make sure they know that I am there for them when they need me. But the cost might be different. But also, just because you've paid $50 to another developer, I am not going to give you a $50 discount off my cost. My cost is my cost. I mean, I had one client, they spent £1,000 with a website company in the UK who did a really bad job, really bad. Then came to me, they said, right, okay, I'm willing to pay what you said, but can you give me a £1,000 discount? Because I already paid them. And I was like, I said to them, have you ever had an extension built? And they were like, no. I said, well, if you do, and the builder does a bad job, the next builder won't work on the bad one. They will probably want to knock that down and then start again. So you're going to pay more now because there might be issues with it. And I just said that I said I had to be blunt. I was like, I don't really care what you paid them. That was their cost. Our cost is our cost. But, yeah, haggling ain't always fun. Just to let you know, though, I did say a few minutes ago, we're only going to be live for 5 more minutes, but we're now down to 2 minutes. So any final words from anyone on the live chat or on the video calls now? Anything you want to say, talk about? I don't know. Shout, whatever you want. Go for
it. One thing maybe just quickly, just to mention, is something which maybe you all will do anyway, but just with it's Elementor, so something I'm doing the first time is just maybe a different approach to building a site, which is maybe something I thought they should try, maybe think about doing is, nowadays most traffic, a lot of traffic, you can say, is all coming from mobiles, and it's all making a site mobile responsive is like a given when you're doing a site. But the way I would always make a site, develop a site, design a site, is always on the desktop first, and then make things responsive. But this time round, I'm really going the opposite way. I'm starting from the mobile view and then transitioning. And I'm finding that a really nice change. And I think Elementor, why don't they actually have, when you load the screen, having it as the mobile view first? Because I think that's the way forward.
So there's a few questions coming in, but I will say, is that this has been discussed about quite a bit. Why is there not the mobile starting first mode? And I did try it, and I found myself going back to desktop mainly. And by the way, I'm not saying
Do you know why? Because there's a couple of settings I noticed. They don't
Yeah.
seem to work on the mobile, but you have
Yeah.
to change it on the desktop, and then they'll filter it down.
Yes,
And I
that's
don't know. Yeah, it's really annoying.
and that's what I found, because what I found is with the desktop you have much more going on,
Yeah.
and when you get to the mobile you might go hide that, change that, whatever. And I found, like, I was doing a page and I started in mobile, and then when I went to desktop I then had to add stuff in, because
Yeah.
and then I was going back, and so I think I prefer desktop to mobile. But
Me too.
but if you want to
it's a
go
challenge.
mobile to desktop, I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I think it's all down to what your preference is. And also, maybe your client is worried more about the mobile approach, like an app kind of looking website. Just going to quickly answer questions. Abhinav says, what skill do you have? I think a lot of my skills are problem solving. So what does the client want? What can we do? What can I do for the most efficient and easiest intuitive way for me and for them? In terms of coding knowledge, for over 20 years now, SQL programming. So this will be interesting to Atif. So 20 years working in healthcare analysis.
Oh, cool. Nice.
So modeling and algorithms and all of that. With CSS, yeah, I'm okay with CSS. With HTML, yeah, I'm okay with HTML. JavaScript, I disappear, right? Okay, I'm not good with JavaScripting. Just very quickly, Peter's question: scroll snap on my site. Now, all I would say, Peter, is if scroll snap is breaking your website, what other plugins have you got? Because you should be able to use the scroll snap that Elementor give you. And I know it's a bit quick, but if you've got any other JavaScript codes or optimization plugins that's combining or minifying your JavaScript, that could affect your scroll snap. So watch out for that. Great answer from George there. Define the problem and learn new things. I mean, that is kind of the tagline for GoDaddy. Define the problem and use someone else. That should be their tagline. Okay, look, I'm going to say...
Well, exactly what I meant, but yeah.
Exactly, yeah. All right, I'm going to say thank you to everyone that was live. I mean, I really do appreciate that, and some of you have been on from, like, right at the start, like Chingy's been on right at the start there. But get up, Chingy, go and shake your legs, get your blood circulation going, all right? Jump up and down a little bit, feel alive. And I'll be cutting this off in about 30 seconds. But I want to say thank you to everyone again on the live chat. Thank you to everyone who shared their video. It's a pity we couldn't see George, but I tell you what, he is there. And he is alive. He is there. Okay.
And thank you, Imran, for pulling this all together for all of us.
Yeah.
It's a great
community. Yeah, great.
It's great to give everyone a platform.
I'll get dressed for tomorrow.
It's up to you, is all I'm going to say. It's up to you. I don't know how to blur the screen, but yeah, it's up to you. But you take care, everyone, right? See you all soon, everyone, right? But yeah, thanks again. Bye.